All right. Hello, everyone. This is the Attraction Advantage podcast. My name is Russ Laggan. I am the host of the Attraction Advantage podcast, and I am here with the one and only, one of the most amazing people in the world. If he got any better, there'd have to be two of them, Frank Panunto.
Hey, Russ, what's going on, my brother?
Frank, it's great to see you. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done a podcast here, and we have the one and only Kelley Tanzola, who actually works for you. She's our Regional Director of Growth for the Northeast. So, Kelley, welcome.
Hey, guys. Hey, Frank. Love the hat.
Yeah, thank you. Well, my buddy Russ, who's on this podcast with us, he came up with this really cool design. He's like, hey, we need to have some cool merch. So we do. We have cool. And when I saw him, it's funny, Kelley. We had an event, and I show up, and Russ is like, hey, come up to my room. I have something for you. It was like a stack of shirts, 14 hats. I'm like, all right, Russ, I got Christmas figured out for the next 2 years. This is perfect.
I will have to go to the gift shop and get myself some merch.
Yeah, there you go. Very cool. You know what? I think I can get you something for free. I know some people.
All right. So, Kelley, today conversation, let's make sure everybody knows who you are. Okay. So a lot of people don't know how awesome you are and what you do. So let's get to that. And then let's talk about some of the stuff. I mean, this is Attraction Advantage. The whole thing is like recruiting and the things that we do. You've got a great history that got you into the role that you're in. And we want to kind of talk through, it's like, what is some of your secret sauce stuff? Like, I've got my way, Frank's got his way. With like, what is your way? What do you do? What do you do well? Okay. Sounds like a plan.
That. Yes, I love that. Thank you. So, hey, everybody. My name is Kelley. I'm a Regional Growth Director with EXP, and I have the most fantastic job in the world. I get to help agents all day long make the decisions as to whether or not EXP is right for them and right for their business. I help agents at EXP grow their downlines, and I honestly feel like I was born for this role. I just love all of it.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so, truth there, Russ, you don't know this. So, Kelley and I have known each other for about 10 or 12 years now. I mean, it could be a little bit longer at this point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, where we met, we both worked for another company that has, different colors and different letters. And we were at one of their training programs. We sat at the same table and we just hit it off and started talking. And then, over the years, we got to know each other. And it's funny when it came time for, when they came to you and I, Russ, and said, hey, look, we're going to expand these regional directors. Here's the territories. When I looked at New York and New Jersey, one name came to my mind. I only talked to one person. That's all I needed because I knew who that person was. And Kelley she's being modest. She is destroyed in New Jersey. She's trained so many people. She's trained agents across the nation. She was part of a whole network of training there and coaching. And she just, on top of the knowledge, which is obviously phenomenal. She's just a great person. So, and you've gotten to know her over the past year since she's been with us. And I'm just, I love Kelley.
Thanks, Frank. And Frank and I maybe talked a little too much during all that training, and I'm sure we paid attention.
So it's hard. You got to drag stuff out of Frank. It's like pulling teeth, trying to get him to talk.
He's really come out of his shell a little bit.
I'm trying, guys. Just give me a little bit of rope.
Couple more years, you'll be all right, Frank. All right, so Kelley, let me ask you a direct question. Okay, so Attraction Advantage podcast. This is about doing recruiting and attraction. So you've got a history doing that. Like, what do you love about that? Like, is there a part of it that you really love?
Yes, and I'll narrow it down to maybe one thing. So what I love, I've always had a big heart when it came to helping other agents, which is how I got into my coaching business, right? I always got so much joy out of watching other agents succeed to the point that it was affecting my own business. That's how I ended up meeting Frank in that training. And so now I get the best of both worlds because I'm helping agents on multiple levels right now. And this is just my favorite part is I'm helping our agents build their wealth. And I'm also helping agents that aren't with EXP yet and helping them make that decision and peeling back the layers of the onion, so to speak, to hear their pain points. And watching their eyes light up when they have that aha moment is just everything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So what's one part of it that sucks? Go ahead and say it. Come on.
Well, let's see. When you find out they're not quite a fit.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any stories that go along with that?
I don't know how much I can reveal, but yeah, we've had a couple situations, Frank and I, we're like, oh, they're going to be great. This is going to be great. And we're like, ooh, not so much.
Yeah. Well,
Not so much.
I think one of the misnomers with recruiting is when people start to be like everybody should be here. Like, and I hear that about EXP, and I hear people say that, and I'm like, and I'll put like, hang on a second, like, no. The people that need what we have need to be here, and there are certain people that are wired to, like, I just said this earlier today. It's like there are people that are not going to shop anywhere but Walmart because they're like, price is the most important thing, and that Walmart has the best price, and they're going to buy everything, including their clothing there, right?
Right.
There are people that are like, I would never be caught dead in a Walmart. I'm only going to shop at Nordstrom's. I'm like, Nordstrom's has socks. They're $50 a pair. Like, you can have 400 pair at Walmart for $50, right? It's a matter of like a mindset shift. So a big part of what we do is find the right puzzle piece for the right slot in the puzzle, find the right person for the right role with the right company. And when you find the right person and the right fit and the right recipe, that's when beauty happens. That's when amazing things happen.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. You talked about mindset, Russ, and I don't mean to interrupt, but it's so important because another thing that's I think we all experience is that when you're talking to somebody and this is the right fit for them, but they can't see it. Like they're just so stuck in their situation, or they're so stuck in a mindset that it's a closed mind that they can't see what's right in front of them and what opportunities are in front of them. So to Kelley's point, like the three of us, all of us on the team, we do this because we love helping people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we do it. And when they can't get out of their own way, incredibly frustrating. So I think the mindset thing, which people poo-poo a little bit too much, mindset. It's so incredibly important to your success. And I think that's, for me, one of the most frustrating things when they can't see that.
And I find that too, when I'm in the initial meeting with the agent on a call similar to this, is that when I do see that aha in their eyes, like, oh, wow, because it's bigger, right? We want them to think bigger, but really you have to think way bigger than that. So when I feel like I have succeeded by just opening that door for them to say, I see it. Because and while I'm in that call, it's very important that you're building that relationship quickly. You're peeling back the layers quickly. You're finding their pain points, and you're speaking in a tone that is like, hey, we're just here to see if possibly this is a fit for you and your business. It's not a hard sale at all.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your recipe, because everybody's got a little different way to do it. I've always done it my own weird way. Like, what's your own little weirdness? Like, how do you start? Where do you start? Like, what does that recipe look like?
So yeah, that's a great question. I think I just do it more than I think about it, but it similar to what I was just saying, I really try to build that relationship first.
Yeah.
And I ask them questions. Hey, Russ, tell me a little bit about where you are in your business. Why did you get into real estate? Yeah. And then from there, sometimes too, when I'm on another call with the agent, they get a little anxious because they're talking too much. And I said, no, I want them to talk, because I want to hear the more they talk, the more they're revealing. So I think my secret sauce is really making them feel safe and feel comfortable to the point that they open up, because they say more to all of us than they do say to the agent that brought them to the call. And that I find is when they've built that relationship, like we become quite close because they feel safe and they've opened up.
Yeah, and I think they feel seen and heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see this all the time. We see this in social media, and somebody will be like, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about switching brokerages. Which one should I go to?" And like, I'll see this like, "You should go here and here and here and here and here." And my response will be something like, "Anybody that makes a suggestion without asking you where you want to go and what you want your life to look like is looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for you." So you start off with making it about them and building rapport and finding out what is really important to them first. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
It's so much
easier. I think another part of that, Russ, is, I think so many times people, and this happens on listing appointments, it happens everywhere. People go in with their own agenda, right? And, that's, to me, the worst thing you can do. You need to find out where people need to go, and then they'll show you what path they want to go down, and then you got to help lead them down that path. I think a lot of times people come in with, well, I need to talk about A, B, C, and D today. Well, maybe they don't want to talk about those things. Maybe it's not important to them. So I think asking the questions, to Kelley's point and your point, they'll tell you what direction to go in, and then you can help. And I think, that's where the relationship building comes in, where that level of trust gets built, all that kind of stuff you're talking about.
That's 100% correct, Frank, because I always, from my coaching days, I always correlate everything to a listing appointment, right? Everything's like a listing appointment. No matter, everything in life is about a listing appointment. Yeah. So, and I was very heavy on listings. I focused solely on listings, and most of my listing appointments were with strangers. So I created my own conversation, my own language that I spoke to the sellers, so that they felt heard, they felt comfortable. I'm like, hey, we're in this together. Together, we're going to get the most money we can. So I never lost a listing once I changed my language and changed my conversation. So I take that same approach to the agents to try to help them make their decision. Am I the right listing person for them?
It's kind of funny, because when I look at the recipe that I use, it's always the same 3 stick. It's 2 stick figures and an arrow between them, right? Little guy and a big guy. It's like, where are you now? Where do you want to be? How are you going to get there? And it's like, just think about listing appointment. It's like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, where are you at now? What does that look like? Cool. Where do you want to be? Okay. How are you going to get there? Let me show you a couple things to help you get there, if that works. And it makes it super easy for them to say yes. And the whole thing is about them. The whole thing is about them. 100%. So how do you know what somebody really wants? How do you know?
You really don't, but I guess it comes from training on, you're trained because we've talked to so many people, right? We've just talked, and there are certain things that we may pick up on that other people don't pick up on. And it's coming from asking those questions. And when they say to me, it's like, where do you want to be in such, what are your bigger goals or anything like that? I always ask them, and who's helping you get there? And they look at me like, nobody, nobody's helping.
It's almost a trick question that what Russ asked, because a lot of the times they don't know what they really want, and I think you need to get to that answer. And I think the way you do that, and the way that I've always approached it, is you try to find their pain, what's bothering them, what obstacles they have, right? So to Russ's recipe and mine are almost identical. That's why we get along. But it's where you're trying to go, what do you need to get there? But there's another part of that question, what's holding you back from getting there now, right? So when you get to that point, you're finding out their obstacles. But even then, where I think a lot of people have a hiccup is they try to fix the problem right there. They didn't get to the impact of the problem. And even the people who you're trying to get the answer from, they don't really know what they want until you find out that impact. Why is that a problem? What effect does that have? Because you don't have this, because of that obstacle, how's that affecting your life? When you can get to that level, I think then you can really find out what people want. And it's funny, you see a lot of self-discovery when you start having those questions.
I love
and
that.
they start saying things like, wow, and then think about it that way, and then you can try to help them, right? But I think to find out what people really want, you got to find out the impact of the problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Being the tour guide. I think a lot of this is just being the tour guide in the conversation to help them facilitate an environment where the self-discovery actually leads them to a conclusion where they're like, somebody said to me the other day, you guys know Kurt Shewell. He introduced me on stage, going on that stage. He's like, and Russ Laggan, he's the closer. He's closed this. He closed that. He's the closer, Russ Laggan. And I walked out. I'm like, all right, guys, number one, I'm not the closer. I don't close anything, right? All I do is I make so much sense that they close themselves. I help them make it make so much sense in their head that they close themselves. And that is part of that discovery process. And I know, Kelley, I'm kind of poking you, prodding you, dragging you into this, but I know you ask and you lead with a lot of questions. And the way you ask questions and how you ask questions gets you the ability to get them to start to see something that they may or may not have seen. You've heard the phrase buyers are liars all the time. We hear they're like, buyers are liars. They're not liars. They don't know what they need to know to even know to ask the right questions. So you ask the question and they don't understand even what the question is, much less how to answer it. And then it turns out it's completely different than what they told you. It's not that they're a liar. they're discovering finally what they really, really like. It's like finding your soulmate, right? Some
Right.
people take 2 or 3 whacks at it. Right? Because like, now that I know that, oh my gosh, like what was I thinking? Now that I know that, and that's that process of discovery. So line me out like 2 or 3 of the questions that you use when you're talking to somebody to kind of discover that. What are the couple of questions you use?
And I think, and now I will answer that, but I think it also too, when I'm delivering my questions, it has a lot to do with my tone. And
Yes.
I'm not afraid of quiet space. I'm not afraid of no one talking, because you can see it sinking in.
Yeah.
So I slow down. Like, I'm not talking this fast when I'm on these calls. I just slow down and I make sure that I am making eye contact with the person, and I'll just, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me, like, where are you with your business right now?
Yeah.
How is it looking? And I already have the numbers, I already know, but I let them talk about it. And they're like, oh, that's great. Is that, where you want it to be for this time this year? And they're like, no, not at all. And okay, then we discover into that. And then I do always say, hey, we all got into, real estate. And it's funny because this one is kind of next level, and not everyone has the answer for it. Like, hey, we all got into real estate with big dreams, big goals, big visions, but we didn't get into real estate to be doing open houses at 90 years old, right? So nobody on this call wants to do an open house at night, and God bless you if you do, but I'm just saying most chances are. So, usually real estate is a vehicle to get to, that helps you achieve other goals. Like, let's talk about them. And then you find out just the most interesting things about people, hey, I love helping people with weight loss. I love helping agents with listings. I want to start this tech business. And there's just, because real estate really does can lead to so many other things in the world.
Yeah.
It's a bigger picture. Mm-hmm.
Good. What do you think? What do you think the biggest challenge with the whole process is? What is the biggest challenge with the process? Do you think? Like, where do most people let's go into like a slight shift. People want to do recruiting. They want to do attraction, and you're like, where are most people getting hung up, and what do they need to start making adjustments for?
So that's a great question, because I think where most people get hung up is they don't know what they need to know, really. They try to go in for the kill too quickly.
Yes.
And they're selling the product, and like, hey, I told them this and that and this and that and this and that. What else can I do? I don't know where to.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's, again, growth and recruiting, for lack of better words, but growth and attraction is about relationships.
Yeah.
Again, it's like listings, right? You have to build relationships, and you have to water them, you have to feed them, you have to tend to them. And I think with agents that have never done that before, they want to grow their downline, even if they have their best friend, they don't know what to say to their best friend. So I think agents get in their way by not knowing how to groom them or groom the relationship. And that's where we come in, because we talk to agents that are already with us all day long. We have our own strategy sessions to teach them and coach them and give them a speech. And like, your homework today for this week is to just have a cup of coffee with somebody. Just call them and have a cup of coffee. And you don't even have to talk about real estate. Trust me, they're going to ask you. You don't. Trust me, they're going to ask you, hey, what's going on over there? Hey, you're really taking off. How's business? It's going to come to that. So do not have an agenda. Just have coffee.
Yeah, and I think with that, there's the other side of that too, where I think people get hung up because they're afraid they don't know enough. And again, because they're worried about their own agenda and not the person's, right? So one thing I tell everybody in every conversation I have, and Kelley, you've been on these calls with me, I tell everybody, hey, listen, this isn't an acquisition, it's a partnership. And as soon as I say that to them, you see all their body language. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because listen, we're here to help.
Yeah.
We're here to enhance. We're not here to change, turn it upside down, destroy everything that you've built. That's not what this is. We're just trying to make it 10x it. right?
Right.
So I think when we start doing that, start to lower their guard where they understand that you're in this thing together. And I think a lot of people get stuck because they don't know what questions to ask, and they're afraid that they don't have the answers. And really, I ask one question, the same question I've asked every open house I've done, every listing appointment I've been to, and every attraction call I've been on. I open up with the same question. What's your situation? Which situation? And then I just listen. You can learn so much by asking one simple question. Then you know what path to go down. So, yeah, I think people get stuck in the mud because of the fear. They have fear.
They can't get out. They don't they get frozen in the headlights, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are a couple techniques that you would suggest for somebody that's like, you know what, Frank? Yeah, I'm freaking scared, dude. Like, you nailed it. Like, it's hard to get people to admit that, right? But when they get like, you know what, I can see some fact, I can see some reality there. So, like, what are some of the things that you would do to get that fear tamped down? Like, where would you start with that? Like, it's really hard when somebody's scared, like make them do anything, right? So where would you go with that?
Well, I would question it down. Like, what are you afraid of? Right? Like, let's talk about that. What's the worst thing that can happen?
No, I love that question. Say that again.
They don't want to have coffee with you. And what if everyone says yes, they want to have coffee with you? Does that make you nervous too? So it's talking them down. And okay, well, maybe just calling them, asking them for coffee isn't the right approach for this person. But if there is an in-person, in real life event, bring them along. Like, there's multiple ways to reach out to them. They just had a closing, call them, congratulate them. They showed your property, call them and thank them. So it's about building that relationship. So if they're afraid of making that call and having that face-to-face, bring them to an in real life event, because then they're going to be surrounded by 100 other people. And it'll make the conversation smoother.
Yeah, I think part of that is, like, maybe we can add a little flavor to that too, is that the thing that stops fear, the only thing that really stops fear is action.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's finding and it's finding an action that's acceptable, that makes sense and resonates with you, that makes you feel like, yeah, I can do when we're teaching people how to do this, when you get somebody go, oh yeah, I could do that. There is no one size fits all. It's like everybody has the same grocery store, and all the stuff in the grocery, like, you can cook Italian out of there, you can cook Greek out of there, you can do Japanese, you can do Chinese, you can do Asian, you can do tacos, right? Everybody likes Taco Tuesdays, right? Like, what is the recipe that you're going to go in there and say, like, you know what? I could make that. Like, for me, I don't care what you do, stay out of the fish section. I'm not eating it. Like, I don't care what you do, how you do it, why you do it, when you do it. I don't care what you try to convince me. Yeah, no, all of it has that fish flavor, deal breaker for me, right? All of it, okay? So, like, don't make me a fish recipe, but I'll tell you what, man, if that thing had feet.
Is there a question in there? I don't know. I just got so wrapped up in that story.
Yeah, but go ahead, Russ.
The point being is, like, when you start to put up options for people where they say, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to invite people for coffee because that's weird. I don't know them that well. Mm-hmm. But could I invite somebody, congratulate them on a sale, and then invite them to an event where we're talking about selling more houses with no commitment? It's like, hey, I'm just calling to invite you. I enjoyed doing the deal with you before. I'm just calling to invite you to show up at the thing. By the way, it's not a recruiting thing. It's just about how to sell more houses. If you want to come, you can come as my guest.
Perfect.
Can you do that?
I think another way to get fear too, when you think about the fear thing, is a lot of people, well, why would they talk to me? Maybe I'm not the biggest producer. I'm not the biggest. Yeah. Why would they want to talk to me? And I always tell people, everybody's got value. Yeah. Your problem is, and then when I try to, talk to people the way Kelley's talking to them, is tell me about you. Yeah. Like, forget about the real estate part of it. Let's just talk, because everybody's got value. And a lot of times people they can't even define their own value propositions. It's like, what do you bring to the table? You bring a lot to the table. You might not even notice about yourself, but you make everybody feel welcome. Yeah. You make everybody feel included. Yeah. You make everybody feel like they're the only most important person in the world when you're talking to them. And a lot of people don't have that gift. There's a lot of things out there. I've got an agent now who just was trying to talk to somebody and the attraction part, and that agent chose a different sponsor because they're a really big hitter. And the agent was like, I can't compete with that. I'm like, yes, you can. You certainly can. Don't worry about what they're doing. Talk about you and what you can do and what you bring to the table and what your special qualities as a person are. Because it's all about being authentic. I don't care what you say, what words and all this. At the end of the day, people follow people, and it's got to be authentic. Just be you. Don't try to be something that you're not. And that's when relationships are formed. That's when people follow people.
Yeah.
Hey, Russ, be followable.
It's also too, I mean,
Great book.
I think the three of us know
Great
this,
book.
but I think the three of us know this, but maybe, agents don't really realize that, is that if you don't have anything else to say, and if agents are asking you, hey, how do you like it over there? How your business is taking off, what's going on over there? It's so important for each agent to know their own story. And a lot of agents think they don't have a story. So that's where I'll talk to them one-on-one, and they don't really realize that I'm asking them, but they're slowly revealing their story by the questions that I'm asking, because I know a little bit about their personality or their life or something. So I'm asking them certain questions. And then all of a sudden they just start talking. I'm like, there it is. And they're like, what? I said, that right there, that amazing piece of information that you just said, that's gold. That is your story. It can be as simple as, I would never walk into a brick and mortar office again, or work out of a brick and mortar office again. It could be as simple as that, but everyone has a story, and you need to know what it is. So you can always work with your growth directors too, to discover what that is.
Yeah, I think there's an additional component to that also, and I think you guys touched on it briefly, and I want to make sure I exfoliate that a little bit. A lot of people think like, well, Russ, I'm not up here. I'm only here. I was like, okay, are you north of zero? Yes. Good. How far north of zero are you right now? Let's just talk units, right? You're like, well, Russ, I've only got 5. I said, everybody that's got 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, you can lead. Mm-hmm. So it's like, lead from where you're at right now. So you know what? Maybe your story is like, I only do 10 or 15 sales a year. Like, how in the world can there's somebody at 0 that would die to have 15. There's somebody that's at 5 that would love to have 10, right? So like, and by the way, like, just run with them, right? I don't have to be right behind the fastest runner. I just have to be behind the runner that's in front of me. That runner in front of me is leading the path, right? Follow the person in front of you. Be the person that's in front of something and find those people, and then give them a tug along. Next thing you know, all of you guys are doing better.
Yeah. So one of the things I talk about too, which I think can combat that, and I do talk about this in my calls when people ask me, I've been in real estate for 30 years. I've been at EXP for 3. This is the most fun I've ever had in my entire career. And I've sold a lot of houses.
That's because you got Kelley to work with.
But and people are like, why? And it starts getting into a conversation, and it's the truth. The reason is, I'm surrounded by business people all day long. I'm in rooms and sitting at tables at rooms I've never been in before. I'm listening to people that do $1 billion worth of sales. I'm seeing all these different things, and it energizes me beyond belief.
Yeah.
Now, I just gave you guys a little story. Did I ever talk about production? How many houses I sold, volume?
It's irrelevant.
Did I have to?
No.
So understanding what people can feel that, though, when I'm talking to people, I'm all amped up about it, and I start going into it. They're like, well, that's awesome, man. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. I feel rejuvenated in my 30th year of real estate. When most people are saying, I can't wait to get the hell out of this thing. I love it. So, and it's because of the environment we're in. So, your story doesn't necessarily have to be how many houses you sell, what's your volume, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah. Yeah. The story of loving life. I mean, that's like, again,
everybody's a better quality of life.
Yeah. It's a thing that makes people feel something. If you can make them feel something, you can get them to do something. If they don't feel anything, they're going to do nothing every single time. All right, Kelley, I'm going to leave the floor for you for the last comment. So, hey, we're wrapping up here. We're doing a couple of these short ones, 30-minute formats, so people can get in, get out, get a taste, figure out who you are, and get some good stuff with it. So, like, what would you like to leave us with?
Well, thanks you guys for having me here, first of all. And I just want to say that the growth department is awesome. I mean, we are having so much fun because we are changing other people's lives, and all of us on this call just love that more than anything as far as what we do on a daily basis. And reach out to your growth directors. Let us help you get past that fear, and let us talk to you about how you can grow your wealth also. And I'm just so happy to have the privilege to help agents on so many different levels every single day and help them discover what is the best company for them.
All right, good stuff. Frank, final words.
Yeah, Kelley, it's just, I'm just thrilled that I get to work with you every day, number one. And it's just the best. I mean, and I think there's a lot of truth to what you said. I mean, I think there's a lot of overused words, in our industry. And one of them is, hey, you're joining a family, but we really are. We are a family. And Russ and I, from the minute we had one conversation before I came here, and it was like, I've known him forever. And it was pretty cool. And it's only gotten 50 times better since then. So, I love what we do. I love who we do it for, and I love who we're doing it with. So thank you for your time today, Kelley. You're just a phenomenal addition to our team, and so happy you're here.
Thanks, guys.
Russ, it's your turn.
Absolutely. I feel the same way, Kelley. We're blessed to have you on the team. You're an amazing human being. Love the way you roll. Love the way you do what you do. And every time I see you in person, I love to just hug your neck because I feel stuff for you guys, right? So I'm super thrilled you're part of the team. So thank you for everything you do for us. And I know you work your butt off doing this role. So I want to say thank you for what you do and what you contribute. And you guys, if you have not met Kelley, chase her down, find her. If you're going to be at EXPCon or an event, make sure you find her and say hi to her. She's an amazing person. So thank you all for watching and listening to the podcast today, Attraction Advantage. This is Attraction Advantage, and we're going to keep on going with more series coming up. We'll see you guys on the next session. Bye-bye.